of Season 4 of The Paper Thing. Today's episode, 6 Feet Sunder. We've got a 3-paper agenda today. It will be the Times, the Sun, and the Daily Mail up for our deconstruction and delectation. I am, of course, your host, the Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy and on TikTok at Useless Conquest. I am going to start using that properly soon, so, get involved. In the meantime, let me just share this in the Discord, and then we will get started. Our first paper today will be the Sun, then we'll do the Times, we'll finish up with the Daily Mail. I don't know why I did that. Here we go. And of course I will share the link to the Discord at a later point in the show. Hopefully you will consider joining it. At here. Show is live. Boom. Okay. Hey, Dan Jones. Yeah, the Matthew Goodwin just chowing down on that delicious copy of his own book. And yet he still is taken extremely seriously as a commentator, which is quite something. Right, so hang on. Let's get the first paper of the day up into the void of shame. What's going on here? Newspapers 373. There we go. Right. We're starting with the Sun today. And if you want to know about something really disgusting that the Sun has done, do make sure you check out today's newsletter, brokenbottleboy.substack.com, about its obituary for its former chief reporter that neglects to mention that in 1977 he murdered his wife. Well, sorry, actually he killed his wife and was found guilty of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. Right, so the Sun. We start with the Sun. Front page of the Sun gives us Cavani stops City title for now. On me Edison. Aston Villa 1. Man United 3. They once again they're obsessing over. Sorry, part of my hair is really annoying me. That's better. Hello, Jordan DH. Hello, Dan Jones. Hello, Dire Thoughts. Hello, Comrade Wolfie. Hello, Carbot14XYZ. Good to see you today. Up, Auntie Dange. Hello to you, studying fangirl. Oi, oi to Mr. Gump. And good afternoon to you, Industrial Pet. Yeah, so front page of the Sun, obsessing over Meghan as usual. Main story is exclusive DNA bombshell. Clueless. Police find lost evidence 14 years on. A shoelace that could potentially clear the killer in the Lynn and the currently convicted killer in the Lynn and Meghan Russell murder case. Sorry, I just had to put the blind down to stop it from blowing out my face there and making me look really white. Good afternoon to fellow Labour Party ill-wishers, says Mark Gnosis. Yes, good afternoon from me, a fellow Labour Party ill-wisher. Now, at the request of... one of the requests last week from... from Comrade Wolfie was to do White Dwarf in the magazine review, and that will be tomorrow's magazine special. It's a thick beast, I'll tell you. Anyway, that's tomorrow's magazine review. But today, let's get into the Sun. On page 3, that isn't page 3, but is page 3, Cinderella star Georgina Castle is without her Prince Charming after a love split. The actress, in black leather jacket for a photo shoot, broke up with The Bachelor's Alex Marks, 33, in December. Yeah, okay, I don't know who either of these people are. Elsewhere on page 3, Brad's larking around with lad. Bradley Walsh will star with his son Barney in ITV's big-budget reboot of The Darling Buds of May. Barney will play a village policeman in The Larkins, while Bradley is Pop Larkin. All right, whatever. Hey, Slinkermeyer, thank you very much for resubscribing. Much appreciated. That's really nice of you. Right, moving on. The Sun's take on the continuing Labour embarrassment is written by Britain's premier cuckold, Harry Cole, who writes Labour big beasts maul bungalow care. Couldn't even get his name right, could he? Sean DH, who's the short, sexy short-haired boy? I don't know. Not me. My hair's been like this for a couple of weeks now, so yes. On page 4 and 5, mystery as evidence turns up. Will lost lace clear hammer murderer 25 years on. Hey, Comrade Wolfie, as I was just saying, here's your magazine review for tomorrow. Right, moving on. Meg turns on charm. Duchess shows off woke bling and baby bump. Meghan posed in bling worth £25,000 as she showed off her baby bump for the first time. Showed off. She's just gone out like fucking showed off. Fucking hell. John DH on annual leave this week, so I finally get to catch stream. Brilliant. Good to hear. What I will say is, when you're not on leave, all the streams are going up on YouTube. Woke bling, please kill me. What the fuck is woke bling, says Comrade Wolfie. Woke bling, says Slinkermeyer. Yeah, so it's her wearing a woman power necklace and a Cartier love bracelet. And her dress is, and she's wearing Diana's Cartier watch, which was presumably given to her by Harry. I mean, it's just some gold jewellery, right? The watch, which was Princess Diana's, which probably increases the value of it somewhat, is the thing that's making it 25 grand's worth of woke bling. The necklace itself is £102. The dress she's wearing is £1,000 and a bit. I mean, she's a celebrity, like, you know, whatever. The coverage, the Sun's coverage of situation in Jerusalem is typically balanced as ever. Jerusalem in flames is the headline it puts on that. Comrade Wolfie, yeah, I definitely think of woke when I think of Cartier. Yeah. Steve Baker says it's morally wrong to keep rules. The people have again put their faith in Boris Johnson and the remarkable NHS vaccine rollout for 2/3 of UK adults. With this new mandate, it's time for a fresh start, blah, blah, blah. The data is so good and the doomsayer is so wrong that it cannot be possibly rational for morally right for us to have to socially distance from each other in any context or setting in the UK beyond June 21st. Okay, well, it's not likely we will. Slinkermeyer, I bet it's pretty indistinguishable from Kate's jewellery, but there's no way anything on Kate would ever be referred to as bling. Yeah, I know. Mark Kenosis, Jerusalem in Flames sounds exactly like a dodgy black metal title. Yep. Exactly. Hey, Yuan, how you doing? Corin Wolfie, I also agree that the rules are wrong, but then I'm an anarchist, so I don't know if I agree with the Sun. Mark Kenosis, grim shit. Grim shit indeed. Of course, the Sun covers the jabs that have been had, person in the room passing by there, with what it's describing as a jabometer. The Royal Mail is testing drones to deliver post. I don't think much will happen with that. Cristiano Ronaldo's girlfriend wore a swimsuit. Leanne Pinnock said she was discriminated against by Capital FM because of her skin colour. Star 29 referred to the radio station's yearly nomination for Pop's Sexiest Female. She said she felt left out while her bandmates made the shortlist. There was one time when a radio station were doing Sexiest Female. They do it every year, and all the other girls have been nominated every single year except for me. And it got to maybe 2018 or something, and I finally got nominated. Leanne, who won the honour in 2018, said it left her wondering why she had not been nominated before. I'm not sure getting it. What's the matter?
I just said it for fuck's sake.
I'm not sure getting honoured by Capital FM is a great honour.
That's what I was saying, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. No, because I agree with you. Yeah, SK Crusader. I wonder what pagan assault believe in and whether it's related to Vickers. Yeah, exactly. Jordan DH. Woo. Person in the room. Real star of the stream. Person in the room stands. Make yourself known. Well, I agree. There she is. There she is. Just being in the room. Elon Musk said that he has Asperger's while hosting Saturday Night Live. Of course, the Sun gives it a very Sun-type headline. Musk in Asperger reveal on US telly. It's like, wait to other people. On page 13, luxury shoe store stabbing, knife brawl at Selfridges. Yobs. Chase and slash victim. A young man was stabbed during a horrifying brawl in a luxury department store. Video footage shows a babyface thug, wielding a knife and backing away as a mannequin is sent flying in front of horrified shoppers. 8 people, including the 20-year-old victim, were arrested following the fracas at the flagship central London store on Oxford Street. In the footage, men in puffer coats and masks are seen pushing and shouting at each other as they send crowd ropes flying. Okay. The Sun is worried that climate change is going to put the traditional cup of tea at risk. Imagine what it will do to the people who actually live in those places. Comment Wolfie, the time I broke my arm was funnier than that SNL skit. Babyface Thug is the name of my new pop punk band, or like a TikTok rapper. Grilling Pirate Pete, find it odd. Stop objectifying women, and also why was I not named sexist woman? I know. Fuck people, only tea. Yeah, pretty much. The Bounce Back Brits, tomorrow at 8 p.m, showbiz in giant leap towards normality. 1,200 people are working at this year's event. There are 11 rap acts nominated. Weird that the Sun mentions that, isn't it? The highly racialised Sun. And there will be 4,000 guests at the Bash in the O2 in London. Bash. Such a tabloid word. Man woke every day by bird knocking at door. Fed up Peter Finnan is in a flap after being woken up at 5 a.m. every morning by a squawking seagull at his front door. The Gobby Gull bashes away. Gobby Gull, classic second mention there. Gets up, bashes at his letterbox 2 hours before he's due to get up for work at 5:45 a.m. Well, that's not 2 hours. If it knocks on his door at 5 a.m, it's an hour and 45 minutes. Anyway, I'm pro the bird. I think this man has done something to annoy this bird. There he is. This is your 5 a.m. alarm gull. Not exactly the greatest pun, is it? Marks and Spencer's is a new Caterpillar cake rival, but bosses won't have to worry about egg on their faces this time. The retail giant was widely mocked after it claimed Aldi's Cuthbert was a copy of their choc treat called Colin Choc Treat. Another second mention for you there. But yesterday, another rival entered the battle for a slice of the action. The vegan version. The Just Love Food Company's $6.99 cake called Archie is egg, peanut, and milk-free. The Vegan Society's Erica Durgay said, the world's been missing a vegan chocolate caterpillar cake. This fucking press release. That bird's just shouting Tory cunt through the letterbox. It's a wake-up call, not an alarm call. Correct. Sir David's Climate Crisis World Tour. Sir David Attenborough is the green poster boy for a Crunch Climate Summit in Britain. He will drum up global support for COP26 in November. Fine. On page 19, Forensics Comb new build. PCSO's killing house search. Rooney's cook up a kitchen at £500,000. Wayne Rooney is spending £500,000 on his new mansion's kitchen, they claim here. A source said he's been joking to Colleen that he will surprise their mates by knocking out a cracking dinner party. Right. I mean, that's most likely bullshit. Mark Gnosis, I like to imagine that lass from the Vegan Society sighing heavily before giving that statement. Yeah, I'd say so. Stunning Fangirl, hell yes, more caterpillar cake drama. That's what we want. Beyonce's worn a new outfit. That's worthy of a story. Libido booster, fangs that go hump in the night. Blood jabs in Willy. Blood injections can put the bite back into men's sex lives, say scientists. Jabbing a teaspoonful into the penis boosts bedroom performance, is the claim here. I guarantee the next story is going to be about a sun reader that withdraws their own blood from their arm and then pumps it into their penis, thereby having to go to A&E. Almost guarantee that. Anyway, experts say that like Viagra, the blood vessels, injecting blood into the penis may raise levels of nitric oxide, which help blood flow. There you go. It could. Please do not jab things into your penis for lols. Agreed, Industrial Pet. Conrad Wolfie, did John Rentoul write that article? I think it's likely. Also, what I love about this, right? So this is a study. What's this study from? A study by Aristotle University in Greece worked this out, and it was tested on men who had been impotent for an average of 6 years. What I love about this is this study easily found. Nick McDermott, he's got an exclusive. So I bet he's very proud of that one. And beside that, Quaver Saver, Devo the Whippet licks his lips as he gets his favourite treat for being a good boy. Packets of Quavers. Owner Emma Lader, 25, says the hound loves the taste and texture of these cheesy puffs. Quavers aren't really cheesy puffs. I mean, I don't want to be pedantic, but I will be. Emma of Newcastle, they're like a curve, aren't they?
Prawn-flavoured bullshit.
Quavers are... No, Quavers are cheesy.
Oh, skips, I'm thinking of, which are also prawn-flavoured bullshit.
You hate skips, don't you? I love a skip, but a skip isn't a crisp either. It's a shaped maize-based snack. Anyway, here's the hound. Here's the Quaver Hound. We are pro Quaver Hound on here. Right, moving on. Spa Cantona. Eric Cantona went to a spa. It's a picture of him with the classic cucumber on the eyes. Britain's washout spring, sizzler to drizzler. It's finally sunny, but it won't last. Right, okay. In the goals supplement, London Calling, Calvert-Lewin loves a capital clash. Page 26 and 27, an interview with Melvin Downs from TV's SAS Who Dares Wins. He says, it may not sound like it, but actually I'm just a nice bloke from Stoke. Fine. I'm not aware. I've never watched that show. I've no interest in it. Right, in the TV reviews, Three Families, BBC One, 9 PM. This does sound like it'll be a good drama, but really, I think quite mentally harrowing. 2-part drama about abortion in Northern Ireland with Sinead Keenan, Amy James Kelly, and Genevieve O'Reilly. Unbeatable is on at 2:15 on BBC One. It's Jason Manford hosting a refreshingly uncomplicated quiz. He'd have to. I don't think Jason Manford could sustain a complicated quiz. As contestants hunt for the best answer from a possible half dozen. Come on. Modelland's back on BBC Two at 9 PM. I gather it's no longer written or co-written by Glinner, so that's good. Pandemic sweeps the school as Julia, Anna Maxwell Martin and co return. Yeah, the kids have tested positive for head lice. And ITV 9 PM, the Queen and her cousins, relatives of Her Majesty, talk to Alexander Armstrong, sharing stories of the monarch's relationship with her mother. Oh, who gives a fuck? Mark Kenosis, you know who else was just a nice bloke from Stoke? Robbie Williams, and look what happened to him. Jordan DH, I have an excellent joke for you all. How did the pedantry fetishist escape doing any time in prison? I don't know. How did the pedantry fetishist escape doing any time in prison? The Queen and her cousins. Do you mean Prince Philip? Well, yes. Oh, by the way, Prince Philip's dead. Jordan DH. How did the pedantry fetishist escape doing any time in prison? He got off on a technicality. I like that. Right, moving on. In Fab Daily, DIY heart test that could save your life. Yeah, all right. They include like running up the stairs and stuff. In Dear Deirdre, that is now not edited by Deirdre, but edited by a woman called Sally Land. Online lover hid his wife and kids. In-law keeps on snubbing our daughter. Daughter is struggling to cope with her wild teen. My life is good, but I feel anxious. She became a scary control freak. And in the casebook, Harry's unwelcome surprise, day 1. I think... Oh, so Annette is cheating on Harry. Is that going to be the surprise he gets at the end? Who knows? Who knows? Chronotherm just logged on to hear Prince Philip's dead. I'm afraid to tell you he's dead. Holy shit, Prince Philip's dead. When did that happen? Prince Philip's dead. When did that happen? Keir Starmer killed him in Hartlepool with a flag, says Comrade Wolfie. Phil, dead. Never knew. I mean, they barely mentioned it. Right, in today's, in the letters today, Malcolm Sygrove comes in with the £50 letter. Labour got a good kicking in the local elections because they no longer understand the workers. The Red Wall has not only been breached, a total collapse has started. Each Labour Party leader has promised the earth for the North, but what did it get? Nothing. This should also be a lesson to the Blue Wall Tories. These votes are only loans. You must prove you care about all the working men and women in the UK. Tom McCudden says, on Friday, Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer said he took full responsibility for his party's awful election results. Then on Saturday, he sacks Angela Rayner as party chair, obviously citing her to blame. This is why Labour lags so far behind the Tories. Spineless leadership from millionaire Starmer. Other people call him battered Keir Starmer. Loser Keir Starmer. There's a few here. Sean Spillane, he turns up quite often in this, from Kent, says, the Sun on Sunday columnist Tony Parsons' brilliant piece on Labour, he must be talking about another Tony Parsons, shows how the party is not just lost but deliberately ignore grassroots Labour faithfuls to pacify woke left-wingers. And finally, Roy McFarlane says, now is the time to cut ties with the EU after the way they have been treating Jersey. Boris Johnson should call off the fishing deal and tell the EU we are taking our waters back for our own fishermen. We will decide who we allow to fish there. Oh, fucking hell. Struggling Keir Starmer. Sir Keir, what did we expect? Keith is a burned ham. Yeah. Floundering Keir Starmer. Comrade Wolfie, woke left alert. Hide your daughters. The only pronoun I know is Churchill, pints and football. Incredible news. And it's almost time for the person in the room to say her catchphrase. Because on page 29 of The Sun, it's a new ad for coins.
No.
One we haven't seen before. And this is a real tempting one. The complete Queen Elizabeth II pre-decimalization coin collection. Coins. New coin just dropped. Right, some highlights of this landmark collection include every circulating pre-decimal coin minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the only coin to ever feature Her Majesty on horseback, alongside two other sought-after commemorative coins, the very first and last coins of her reign, featuring a definitive portrait by Mary Gillick. So, yeah, this for you. Each coin costs $7.95. There are 114 coins. Every month you will receive 4 or 5 coins payable in one convenient instalment until you own 114 coins. And it comes with this coin display case. The only horseback coin. Definitive portrait. Pre-decimalization coin set. Free display case, as if it's free after you've paid. What's that? 114 times $7.95. Plus a quid. Oh, hey Google, do 114 times 8.
£114 by 8 is £912.
£912 plus postage and packing. 4 or 5 coins. You receive a handful of coins each time. Exactly, Johan. No, you don't get a bulk discount. $7.95 per coin. So there you go. By the way, update on the Prince Philip coin. I received a letter from the coin people saying that the coin will be here by the end of May, possibly due to the difficult circumstances of Prince Philip being dead. I'm not sure why that stopped them making the coin. Perhaps he was minting the coins previously. Hard to say. There's a bargain for the only coin of the Queen fucking a horse. I believe some confusion has entered here. Are you getting mugged off by coins? I'm not. I'm pretty sure the coin will come. But when it will come, who knows. End of May, we're promised now. Big Coin doing a number. I don't think it's a scam because this company is one of those companies that's been flogging these coins for a long time. So I'm pretty sure it will arrive. But you know they're keeping us on the hook for it at the moment. Luckily, that coin only costs like, I don't know, 10 quid or something. So it's not it won't be a huge loss if it is a scam by Big Coin. And in the sport, Crash and Harry. Ole squad fears in pile-up after Maguire. Whoa. Harry Maguire faces Europa League final misery after picking up an ankle injury at Villa Park. Aston Villa 1, Manchester United 3. You just need to make another payment to receive your coins. It's a scam, but you will get the coin. Maybe they're minting the coin with a death date on them. I hope so. Capitalism is scam, says Slinkermeyer. True. Conrad Wolfie's still mad about the Villa United game. Maybe they just want me to keep giving them promo. I'm not sure that Big Coin knows about promo on this show. Otherwise, they'd start sending coins. You wait. Marknosis, please. I need my coin. I'm already forgetting who Prince Philip was. Who was he? Hard to say. Right, we're going to move on to the times. I'll do the roll call, but while I do that, why don't you give me your scores for the Sun today? For me, it's a minus, we say it's a triple negative nice, so minus 69, 69, 69. Okay, boom. In the chat today, I'm the Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy and on TikTok at Useless Conquest. In the mod squad today, SK the Crusader, who has just come off a run of excellent streams. Particularly enjoyed the post-election one. So catch them on VOD. I tuned in a couple of times to live to a couple of streams, but I will be catching up on the rest. In the chat, Bad Motivator is here. Hello, Bad Motivator. Carbot14XYZ, Chris McRae, Commander Root, Comrade Wolfie, Dan Jones, 3142, Grilling Pirate Pete, our friend in the US, Industrial Pet, excellent contributor to the chat as ever, as is Chronotherm, Mark Kenosis, a stalwart of the chat, the excellent Mr. Gump is here, Selinka the fabulous Slinkermeyer is here. Senor Leopardface is here with probably the best name in the chat today. Shankly07, good to see you. Stormunity, cheers for being here. Studying Fangirl, tuning in from Israel. Torms is here. Teo writes, ever a stalwart of the chat and an excellent one at that. The Royal Flush is here. VNK, good to see you. Virgo Pros, the Fish Meister General Yuan is here, and the ever excellent and by no means last but by no means least, Zoe Brings Bacon is in the chat. Good to see you all today on this vaguely sunny Monday. SK's post-election stream is also now on YouTube. Minus £912 plus postage and packing for the Sun. Minus cheese puffs out of 10 from the Sun for the Sun, says Industrial Pet. Minus all the 69s from Dan Jones. 169 per bunch of coins. Comrade Wolfie gives it 8 pre-decimal halfpennies out of 10. Studying Fangirl gives it Woke Bling out of 10. And Mark Kenosis comes in with a minus 90, the Quaver Hound, earning it some points. A minus 1,000 from Teo Wrights. A minus triple negative nice from Slinkermeyer. Minus 3 fish. 3 fishes rating from Yuan. Okay. Teo Wrights, every time I hear Zoe's Twitch username, I get hungry. Yep. Keith looking like Googa dry-aged ham. The Times, are you office ready? Me, no, says Studying Fangirl. Same here. So yeah, front page of the Times, top of the shop. Are you office ready? Return to the workplace. Please, commercial landlords demand that you return to the workplace. In the game, the soccer supplement, they've got injury scare for United. Maguire. Story at top page. Virus won't beat us, says PM as he lifts lockdown further. Once again, this is just the usual. They've pre-briefed all the stuff he's going to say tonight in the press conference. So why even bother with the press conference? And similarly, the Queen's speech is getting massively pre-trailed, as you can see in the story, Johnson to relax rules on building new homes. Main picture there is, as SK says, Keir Starmer looking like Guga dry-aged ham in his little Harrington jacket that he thinks makes him look very cool. And on the right-hand side of the page, leather on bamboo, the new sound of the summer. Scientists have done some research and discovered that bamboo might actually make a better material for making cricket bats from if the rules are changed to allow it. Hey, Comrade Wolfie says, I've got to go back to classroom teaching next week for the last 4 weeks of term. Ooh. Industrial Pet, I'm not going to run down office where the only person... to run down to the office where the only person I saw was the cleaner. What's the fuck is the point of that? Yeah, gross voter ID shit is coming. Keir's ditched the contacts and has gone for the frames. Yeah, because he wants to show seriousness. Look at me here with my glasses on. Absolutely emanating seriousness. Right, moving on inside the paper. David Hockney has an exhibition at the Royal Academy that gets 4 stars from the Times. They also cover the drone delivery thing with Royal Mail. They've all got the same press release. On page 5, Melinda Gates has been planning divorce for years. And why was she planning divorce for years? Because Bill Gates kept insisting on meeting up with his close personal friend, Jeffrey Epstein. Nicola Woolcock, who, as I've said before, is probably the most extreme education editor at any of the national newspapers, says, call to change inflexible, wasteful apprenticeship scheme. 10 vice-chancellors have written to Rishi Sunak asking for change to the inflexible apprenticeship scheme that they say is wasting billions of pounds. They have told the Times that restrictions prevent them from offering the short courses needed by local businesses which want to spend money accrued from the apprenticeship levy. Top up pension pot later in life, urge economists. Households should be encouraged by the government to put more money into their pension pots later in life once children have flown the nest, a think tank has recommended. Institute for Fiscal Studies said that people should be nudged into increasing their retirement contributions as they age. Well, look, I used to work for Pensions World magazine, and the fact is, what you should do, the tax system incentivizes you to put more money into your pension pot when you're in a higher tax bracket because you get a larger amount of tax relief on it. So that's the way to go about doing that if you have a pension. What's that? I've said it to you before.
No, you haven't.
I did. I told you.
What's your use?
What's that?
What's your use?
Right. Comrade Wolfie, my pension plan is smoking until I die. Well, it's a very effective one. On pages 6 and 7, they put the boot into Keith Rayner back in the fold after Starmer's reshuffle kerfuffle. Burnham sets out opposition. Ring of snipers point their guns. Sacking Rayner started a briefing battle right. Henry Zeffman, Matt Chorley, Eleni Courier, and Patrick Maguire. All of them for a short panel at the bottom of the page. That is called byline inflation. Ian Austin, the dog-loving former MP for Dudley, now Lord Austin, thanks to him in return for his treachery on behalf of the Conservative Party, writes, start apologising to fix sorry state. Oh, fuck off. On page 8, billions for Scottish projects in effort to save the Union. Basically, Boris Johnson thinks that he can bribe his way into preventing Scottish independence. They say that it's more misery for Starmer as a by-election looms. This is after Tracy Brabin won the West Yorkshire Metro mayoral race and is now going to have to stand down as an MP because the West Yorkshire Metro Mayor is also the Police and Crime Commissioner, and you cannot be, by law, a Police and Crime Commissioner and an MP. In an analysis column, John Curtis, Professor of Politics at Strathclyde University, Senior Research Fellow at NatSen Social Research, as well as at the UK and a Changing Europe think tank, writes, Labour's identity crisis in an era of identity politics. Oh, fuck off. Co-star defends Barrowman over flashing during filming. An actor from the BBC series Torchwood has defended his co-star John Barrowman after the latter admitted to exposing himself on set. Barrowman, 54, apologised last week for repeatedly exposing himself during the filming of Doctor Who and its spin-off in the noughties, insisting it was only tomfoolery. Two runners told The Guardian he would get his genitals out on a regular basis, but it was not predatory. Gareth David Lloyd, 40, who played Ianto Jones in the series, conceded that professional lines were sometimes blurred, but said Barrowman's behaviour was always meant to entertain. Right. In a statement to Metro, he said, "In my experience on Torchwood, John's behaviour on set was always meant to entertain, make people laugh and keep their spirits and energy high on what were supposedly very long working days." I mean, buy him a coffee, don't get your cock out. Right, very dodgy headline from the Times here. If I'm strange, it's because I have Asperger's, Musk tells TV Million. He may well have told them that, but that is, again, a weirdly othering way of treating people with Asperger's. They review The Pursuit of Love, the Nancy Mitford adaptation, which went out on BBC One yesterday, the first part of it. It gets 4 stars and is called a punky period piece, a Sunday night delight. Myself and person in the room watched it. Frankly, it was basically that Emily Mortimer had watched Wes Anderson. Who else did we say? Wes Anderson. It's going to come to me. Sophia Coppola and Baz Luhrmann, basically. So there's a lot of random stuff in there, like a bit of New Order in there, and at the end of the episode they played very excellent Sleater Kinney song, but still. Slinkermeyer, I have Asperger's and I am strange, but that framing still grows. Yeah, it's just horrible. They shouldn't have printed that as the headline. Absolutely not. Mark Gnosis, Musk isn't strange, though. No, Musk wants to be strange. Also, I don't know. It's just odd. Oh, right, so this was a big story in the papers over the weekend, or they're trying to make it a big story. A school chaplain who was reported to terrorism watchdogs and sacked after giving a sermon on identity politics said that he feared for other teachers at the school and called on ministers to protect freedom of speech. Bernard Randall, a former chaplain at Christ College, Cambridge, is suing a Church of England school after officials reporting him to Prevent programme, which aims to stop people being radicalised. Randall, 48, will claim he was unfairly sacked and discriminated against on the grounds of his religious and philosophical beliefs at an employment tribunal next month. He said that senior teachers and officials at Trent College in Nottingham unfairly sacked him after he gave a sermon to students claiming that the Anglican Church viewed marriage as between being between a man and a woman. Randall said he gave his sermon after students questioned the school's new policy on sexual orientation diversity. He will tell the tribunal that the school officials will commission Ellie Barnes, a consultant who runs Educate and Celebrate, an LGBT plus education charity, to train staff. It is alleged that the aim of the program was to teach staff on how they could embed gender identity, and sexual orientation into the fabric of the school. Alleged. What? Alleged? Why? What? So this is Hang on, I'm looking here now. Does Barnes get a right to reply in this piece? Does she bollocks? Expect a lot of this guy. Prevent his shit. B, this guy can get fucked. Yeah, agree with you on that one, Tara writes. If he was referred to Prevent, there's definitely something missing here. I don't believe... it's not clear to me why he would have been referred to Prevent. In a subsequent sermon to students, Randall said he presented the church's position on marriage and emphasised that children at the school were not obliged to accept an ideology they disagreed with. He was temporarily reinstated after he was sacked. The chaplain said it emerged that the school's designated safeguarding lead had reported him to Prevent. This just all seems odd to me. Yeah, the whole thing is not clear. Right, anyway, moving on. We'll come back to that, and that's going to get covered a lot, trust me. Cash boost to improve mental health of pupils. Schools will be given £17 million to improve mental health support for pupils. This is wank. The waiting lists for mental health support are still very long. The children's mental health services are very poor in a lot of areas of the country, including the one I live in. And 17 million quid is an absolute drop in the ocean. Chronotherm, being LGBT is not an ideology. Agreed. Jordan DH, we have a ton of members at CWU still waiting on tribunals over average pay and annual leave, so it's weird he gets one so soon. I don't think he got a tribunal. I think he appealed to the school, and then he was... Yeah, I don't think he's got I don't think he's at a tribunal yet. Comrade Wolfie, having been through Prevent meetings, super easy to get reported to it, and it's the teacher's fault if you don't report to Prevent. So it forces teachers to report pupils to Prevent. Yeah, to Prevent. Yeah. There's the safeguarding training is extremely poor and stuff like Prevent, and Prevent really shouldn't exist. Graduate shot in Pakistan by contract killer. It's a very grim story. Uruguay savaged by first wave as a COVID success story turns sour. Uruguay has gone from winning its fight against COVID-19 to being hit by a devastating first wave that has plunged the nation into crisis. A country of 3.5 million has been riding out the pandemic, ending the year with fewer than 200 deaths, while hospitals in neighbouring Brazil teetered on the brink. However, it is experiencing a surge in infections with new cases, the highest in the world per capita last month. Death toll passed 3,000 over the weekend. Cases have increased from 200 per 100,000 people in February to about 1,390 per 100,000. Yeah, because it struggled to get vaccines. More on the bats made of bamboo thing on page 19. Starbucks has had enough of Facebook trolls, apparently. Starbucks is considering closing its Facebook page after vitriolic comments in response to some of its social media posts, according to an internal memo. Oh no, please don't go on Facebook and bully Starbucks. The train, although I guess it's bad if it's affecting social media, moderators or whatever who work for Starbucks. The chain promotes its drinks on its page in addition to highlighting issues such as the conviction of Derek Chauvin for the murder of George Floyd and a spate of anti-Asian attacks. The Facebook memo obtained by BuzzFeed said Starbucks is in the process of evaluating their organic presence on Facebook and whether they should continue to have a presence on the platform at all. Anytime they post in regards to social issues, they are overwhelmed by hate speech. The memo added that Starbucks was having problems moderating the hate speech and was unable to disable comments. Starbucks, with its 35 million Facebook followers, was among hundreds of firms to halt advertising on the network last year as part of the Stop Hate for Profit campaign. Just don't fucking... Just fuck Facebook. I want to go to Uruguay's Fray Bentos pies come from the town of Fray Bentos. Yeah, Red Tick Seed Facebook is accessible, agreed. Mark Kenosis is still disappointed that the sound of bamboo on leather headline isn't a kink thing. You could still make it a kink thing, Mark. Slicker Meyer. Oh, so it's not getting brownie points for being performatively woke. Yeah, imagine that. There's a big advert for Times Radio. The Times desperately tries to get more than me listening to it. Frank the Terrier fell 400 foot off a Scarborough cliff, breaking 2 legs and losing a few teeth, but he survived. Oh, Frank. Look how sad Frank looks. Poor Frank. In the comments section, Stephen Bush writes, Starmer's poor judgment has been exposed. There's much an opposition can't control in an election, but Labour's leader flunked opportunities for damage limitation. People like Stephen Bush have been telling us the whole time that this guy was competent and was going to fix the party. This is like bullshit. Yes, good old Frank. What a lucky idiot. Bless Frank. Shout outs to Frank. We are a pro-Frank stream. Moving on, Martha Gill writes, millennials are hated for being defiantly uncool. It seems odd to me that someone who is a millennial herself just goes and writes a column that attacks millennials in the paper. You know, it's performative slagging off of your own generation. The part that really annoyed me in this column was the paragraph that reads, consider that for 30 years literature was dominated by writers such as Martin Amis, Bret Easton Ellis and Will Self, and now we suddenly have Sally Rooney, Megan Nolan and Nisha Dolan, the kind of writers Gen X finds so embarrassing that have politely pretended not to see them. Those 3 writers may all be young Irish women, but they're actually quite different writers if you read their books rather than just reading the marketing material or broadsheet journalist wankery about it. But there you go. In the Times too, office politics, presentation paranoia, stuck in the lift with the boss. Are you going back to the workplace? I'm in my workplace right now. In the birthday, Sir Win Bischoff, chairman of the Financial Reporting Council till 2019, Lloyd's Banking Group chief till 2014, is 80. Dennis Bergkamp is 52. Bono is 61. Donovan is 75. Sir Bill Cash, the awful Conservative MP for Stone, Shadow Attorney General until 2003, is 81. Not happy birthday to him. Sly Dunbar, the musician and producer, is 69. Nice. Jonathan Edwards, commentator, triple jump world record holder and Olympic gold medalist, is 55. Linda Evangelista, the supermodel, is 56. John Friedrichsen, the oil tanker and shipping tycoon, is 77. Dermot Gavin, the garden designer, is 57. Sir Christopher Gent, the chief executive of Vodafone until 2003, and then chairman of GlaxoSmithKline until 2015, is 73. Graham Gouldman, the singer-songwriter in 10cc, is 75. Alex Jennings, the actor, is 64. Dame Maureen Lipman is 75. Chloe McCardle, the endurance swimmer, holder of the record for the number of cross-channel crossings, 35, is 36. David Mackenzie, film director, is 55. David Mason, singer-songwriter and the guitarist in Traffic, is 75. Anna Maxwell Martin, the actress, is 44. Al Murray, the comedian, is 53. Ellen Oker, the astronaut, director of the Johnson Space Center, is 63. Sally Phillips, the actress, is 51. Yeah. Muki Prada. Mukia? Is it Mukia Prada? Mucha Prada, right. I've already never seen it written down. Mucha Prada, the fashion designer, is 72. Roberta Corta, chairman of Smith and Nephew Medical Technology Company and the advertising company WPP, is 72. John Ronson is 54. Manuel Santana, the tennis player, Wimbledon tennis champion in 1966, is 83. John Schofield, the kayaker and Olympic silver medalist, in 2016 is 36. Barbara Taylor Bradford, the author, is 88. Debbie Wiseman, film and TV composer and conductor, is 58. On this day in 1999, members of Sinn Féin, the political wing of the IRA, voted to accept the Good Friday Peace Agreement. And the last word in this column today goes to Joseph Joubert, the French essayist from the self-aggrandizingly titled The Notebooks of Joseph Joubert. It is better to debate a question without settling it than to settle a question without debating it. There we go. Graham Gouldman also played on Ramesses Space Hymns LP, so happy birthday to him for that, if nothing else. Happy birthday to Dennis Bergkamp especially. Yes, Donovan doesn't like to mention he was in India with the Beatles in 1968. Barely ever mentions it. That's right, Shackley. Comrade Wolfie, these millennials, lazy, feckless students, all of them, still, even though the oldest millennials now in their 40s and the youngest late 20s. Yeah, Will Self is embarrassing. Agreed. Right, moving on. In the world news, Bolsonaro accused of allowing record assault on the Amazon. Putin uses parade to say Russia will stand firm. A lot of attractive-looking women in uniforms, if that's your thing. I'm sure it's Putin's. Criminal hackers blamed for closure of vital US pipeline. Obama's paid tribute to their dog Bo, who was all bark but no bite. He has died. Bo was 12. Good dog in his dog. A seal pup on Lake Baikal in Russia is the subject of the picture that is the winner of the Society of International Nature and Wildlife Photographers Winterscapes competition. Very cute. Chronotherm, surprising that the British tabloids haven't demanded 10cc be renamed to 2 teaspoons. Conrad Wolfie, Russia does the parade, it does every victory day, but this time it's scary. Ooh, I know, yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Museum Star exhibit looted in genocide. A huge South Seas wooden sailing ship that is a centerpiece of a new Humboldt Forum Museum in Berlin was stolen from islanders after acts of colonial genocide and crime. New research has found. Send it back. The Melanesian boat was chosen to be the heart of the new museum, dedicated to non-European art, because it was thought to be untainted by the colonial period when artifacts were plundered by Western collectors. It sounds to me like most things in that museum should be sent back. Sexist roadside bench is seat of France's latest culture war, claims Adam Sage in Paris. The auction of a 19th century public bench is being depicted by traditionalists as a symbol of Paris's drift into ugliness under the guidance of left-wing ideologues. Critics of Anne Hidalgo, the socialist mayor, say that the bench, valued at €420, is emblematic of the wrecking of the city. They accuse her of letting rubbish pile up whilst replacing elegant furniture with modern inclusive items such as deconstructed benches and garish plastic flower pots. They say Hidalgo's policy is being driven by radical groups who want to free men and women from stereotypes hinging on a system of domination. The radicals say that street benches facing roads are an example. While men are happy to sit and look at traffic, women are not, for fear of being subjected to sexist remarks. Didier Reichner, editor of La Tribune de l'Art, the art website, said that the deconstructed benches might be more inclusive or participative, but they are of rare ugliness. In an editorial, Le Figaro, the conservative newspaper, said that Hidalgo had disfigured the city and in so doing undermined her own prospects of becoming socialist candidate in next year's presidential election. Right. Will Self-ripping into Little John was good, but I think on balance it would be better for British culture if he'd OT'd in the 90s. Harsh, but perhaps fair. Particularly if you hear the story about him putting red stickers on items in his ex-wife's house while she had cancer. Freeing men and women from stereotypes. Oh no, imagine that. Yeah, I know. Imagine that. Paul Johnson of the IFS writes in the business column, parties' promises are cheap when there is no pressure to pay for them. James Kirkup, director of Social Market Foundation and generally awful person, says competition is magic ingredient that ensures any market works well. Fucking hell. Impossible. Only thing that works is the market. That's all they can think of. A peer-to-peer property lending business that attracted tens of millions of pounds from ordinary investors was put into administration after its board discovered an unauthorised loan to its chief executive. The latest example of alleged mismanagement in the industry is emerged that House Crowd had a series of governance failures in the run-up to its collapse. The House Crowd, based in Altrincham, have been in administration since February. Investors are owed $52.7 million in capital and interest. Jesus. Military Taylor measuring up his toughest foe yet. They profile Samuel Brothers that makes uniforms. In the obituaries, Murray Hedgecock, Australian-born cricket writer and Woodhouse enthusiast who was Rupert Murdoch's lifelong friend and consultant on journalism. Whoa! What a surprise that he gets a luxurious obit in the Times. John Richards is also in the Times obits, founder of the Apostrophe Protection Society, whose campaign to preserve the little squiggle made people laugh and then think. He was 97. And Mike Mitchell, guitarist with the Kingsmen, who should have got a bigger obit, best known for their 1963 hit, Louie Louie, that was subject of an FBI investigation. Yes. That for me is the definitive version of Louie Louie, and it's fucking incredible. Yes, Hedgecock. They're trying to sell you hearing aids. They're trying to sell you tipping chairs. And in the sport, revealed Story Drug TUE. Dame Sarah Story, Britain's most successful female Paralympian, had to be issued with a retroactive therapeutic use exemption at the London Games in 2012 after a urine sample she gave produced an adverse analytical finding for a performance-enhancing substance. A therapeutic use exemption is a medical certificate issued to athletes, permitting them to use substances on the World Anti-Doping Agency ban list. They are more commonly granted in advance rather than retrospectively, as in Story's case with salbutamol. Story 43 won the first gold medal at the London Paralympics for the host nation with an easy victory in cycling's individual pursuit for her disability category, catching and defeating her opponent little more than halfway into the 3-kilometre race. The Times can reveal that when the 14 times Paralympic champion was routinely drug tested after the victory on August 30th of that year, she was found to have levels of salbutamol higher than the permitted limit. Salbutamol, which is commonly used to treat asthma, is considered by WADA to be performance-enhancing when used in high doses. WADA sets a limit as to how much an athlete is permitted to have in their urine. Chris Froome was subject of a lengthy anti-doping investigation after he was found to have excess levels of salbutamol in 2017. The 4-time Tour de France winner was later cleared of any wrongdoing, and athletes have received bans for breaking WADA's threshold. Footage of the race shows Story using her hailer about 3 minutes after it concluded. Yes, the John the Postman versions of Louie Louie are good. Because they just go on and on and on. Yeah, although, hang on, I just have to check this before I make an assertion. The original version of Louie Louie was by a guy called Richard Berry. It's just, and he recorded that in 1955. And that in itself was based on a song called El Loco Cha-Cha by René Touzé. But yeah, the Richard Berry version was never as was on the B-side was on the B-side of a single he did, and yeah, the Kingsman's version, 63 version, is the definitive and most well-known version. Right, so
Thanks for that.
what's that?
Thanks for sharing.
What's your importance? What?
This winds me up.
Very mean. Newberry wrote it. Didn't think he actually recorded it. Yeah, he did. It was on the B side. It was on the B side to his version of "You Are My Sunshine." But yeah, obscure one that. Right. So finally, we come to the Daily Mail. We're gonna get our way through the Daily Mail now. Right, Daily Mail. Front page of the Daily Mail. It's more Weight Watchers shit. Main story, a huge hog for Britain. And Tsar-struck Prince Michael caught in cash for access to Putin's sting. There's a story the Sunday Times had. Dan Jones found that interesting, if it's any consolation. And Slingermeyer says, I'm pro Mick the record nerd. There you go. Huh? How do you like them apples? Right, inside the paper, of course, the Daily Mail watched the Pursuit of Love Pursuit of Love adaptation on BBC One, and it gives it the headline, Raven-haired and ravenous. No wonder Lily's a total cad magnet. And, of course, they get Jan Moir to review it. On page 2, another missed chance to tackle social care crisis. 2 years after PM vowed to deliver a plan, no sign of it in the Queen's speech. Page 4 and 5, PM, we're on the road to freedom. They do the same thing as the Sun did of noting the cost of all the items that Meghan Markle was wearing. On page 7, Linda Lusardi said her family needed therapy after she nearly died from COVID. Well, I'm not surprised. On page 9, that'll appall the midwife. Show's newest star waved the racist, sexist police placard at Kill the Bill protest. And also, she said she despised Priti Patel. These images show actress Megan Cusack, 24, in a rather different light, waving a 4-letter placard at a Kill the Bill rally. Oh, okay, so because she plays a sort of a character in a relatively conservative show, she's not allowed to have politics. Fuck off, Daily Mail. On page 10 and 11, Daily Mail says, could it be curtains for Keir? I don't think so yet. David Blunkett writes, voters want to hear a plan for the future, not nostalgia for the past. And what better way to say we shouldn't have nostalgia for the past by dragging out a former Labour Home Secretary to write in the fucking Daily Mail. Yeah, they're trying to get her dogpiled. That's correct, yeah. Mark Gnosis log. Guardian website headline right now. Starmer's reshuffle bid to demote Rayner described as despicable act of cowardice. Oh, Jesus. On page 15, thanks for that, Mark Gnosis, with a pic of him that looks unnaturally stretched but isn't. Perhaps he's suffering from O'Neillism. On page 15, Scarlett's blast at sexist Globe voters. Scarlett Johansson has criticised the Golden Globe body, pointing to alleged sexist questions or remarks by members. I mean, it's a really pathetic group, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. Now Labour's facing another perilous red wall by-election, is what they say about the Tracy Brabin thing.
I'm just showing off that I'm bringing
Thank you for the tea. I bring you tea every morning, just to note. On page 17, it was the love triangle that baffled Britain and drove Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger mad with jealousy. Now, as Lord Rossmore dies aged 90, Richard Kay recalls a doomed romance blighted by addiction. This fucker does this shit all the time, right? And what it is, basically, is he does a research trawl of previous articles and stuff, gloms them all together and acts like he's written something new. Dominic Lawson, remember, son of a former Tory Chancellor, says under Labour, unions would have jumped the vaccine queue, but voters preferred fairness. A classic thing here where it's like, what if Jeremy Corbyn, Jeremy Corbyn did not get elected, Dominic, so your fan fiction is irrelevant, and I don't think that's what would happen anyway. Moving on, Andrew Pearce is awful. Page 19, Channel Stowaway, who popped up in Britain feet first. They've got pictures of a guy basically jumping out of a hole, cutting the side of a truck and running away. Body of newborn baby is discovered in canal. Horrible. On page 20 and 21, Guy Adams tries to catch up with the Sunday Times scoop on Prince Michael, claiming that he can have special access to Putin. A Tsar-struck prince and some very unpatriotic lobbying, he says. There's a picture of Rod Stewart doing his ironing for some reason. A young Marianne Faithfull was amazing. Industrial Pet, she's still amazing, to be honest. Industrial Pet, unions should have secured vaccines for frontline key workers. That would have been good, actually. It would have. On this day, May 10th, 2021, let's look back into the archives. May 10th, 1938, the Daily Mail wrote, "The monster of Loch Ness has been apt to have a look at a Scotsman again, or so says Rear Admiral C.B. Prickett of Glasdulwich, Rossshire. Looking over the loch from a hotel, he and his wife saw a dark rounded hump break the surface and dive, followed immediately by another hump." Right. May 10th, 1978. The body of Aldo Moro lies in the back of a car in a Rome street. This is how the former Italian premier was found yesterday. 11 bullet holes near his heart. 54 days and 4 hours after being kidnapped by Red Brigade's terrorists. The government had refused to consider negotiations. Daily Mail says happy birthday to Maureen Littman, who's 75, and to Anna Maxwell Martin, who's 44. Also born on this day, Bert Whedon, the East London-born daddy of British guitarists, wrote books including The Manual Play in a Day, which sold more than 1 million copies and helped teach the instrument to Eric Clapton, Paul McCartney and John Lennon. In 1976, Whedon became the first solo guitar player to top the UK album chart. He also accompanied the likes of Frank Sinatra and Judy Garland. He died in 2012. David Oselznick, born 1902, died 1956. Was born on this day. The American producer won 2 Best Picture Oscars for Gone with the Wind and Rebecca. He was known for sending exhaustive memos to cast and crew. One to Vivian Leigh weighed half a pound and took the star 10 days to reply to. During the making of Gone with the Wind, he would work for 3 days without sleep, fueled by amphetamines. On May 10th in 1774, Louis XV and Marie Antoinette became the king and queen of France, and on this day in 1824, the National Gallery in London opened its doors to the public. Quote of the day comes from Jean-Paul Sartre, from his play No Exit, I think. Hell is other people. And joke of the day, what kind of tree fits in your hand? A palm tree. Marcanosis says, love the Red Brigades, 8 mayors, simple as. The Loch Ness Monster, probably only safe headline from 1938, says Slinkermeyer. I would say that's true. Carol Vorderman is fronting a litter picking campaign. This picture looks very odd. Moving on, cash for trash. Carrie and Boris eat your heart out with a £2,000 skull loo and a £6,000 hot dog sofa. Even King of Kitsch Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen is asking if the new trend for megabucks bling is cash or trash. Don't care. In Inspire, women can be top of the frocks. They dominate the flocks. They dominate the bestseller lists and our screens. Forget One Man and His Dog. Britain's gone balmy for shepherdesses. Has it though? Has it though? it's a bad photo, but she looks absolutely knockout, and I'm there for that. I love the outfit. The photo is just bizarre looking. Yorkshire Shepherdess paved the way for women like me. She proved you can lug a 50-kilo sheep around and still be feminine, says Zoe Colville, the chief shepherdess. Fucking shepherdesses. Apparently, this year's trend is wearing orange, so they go...
Being a shepherdess.
What's that?
And also being a shepherdess.
Being a shepherdess. They say they give the headline time to tango. I fucking remember this tango. Strictly's Pasha Kovalev says the one lesson he's learned from life is stand up for your beliefs. He's married to Rachel Riley, who he met on the show. Josie Lloyd was diagnosed with breast cancer at 47. She wanted to crawl under the duvet, but in this moving tribute to female friendship, she shares how a crazy challenge got her back on her feet. The club that made me run for my life. Guarantee that gets turned into a film. Fuck off. A feature here written by Jessica Fellows claims the Mitford sisters were the Kardashians of their day. No, they weren't. Fuck off. Dr. Max, the mind doctor, who I have no time for, says, don't feel ashamed of taking HRT, Davina. I'm sure Davina's delighted that you're there to give her your opinions, Dr. Max. There's a new plastic surgery treatment thing. It's the new no-knife treatment that promises to regenerate your skin. The only catch, you have to barbecue your face from inside out. So are you brave enough for the new laser lift?
Are you stupid?
No. Are you stupid? Fuck off. They're trying to sell really ugly trousers. Lovely linen trousers. Save £36. Yours? For only £79? What? For a pair of fucking trousers? No, thank you. In the recipe section, quick mushroom and macaroni bake, chicken fajita tagliatelle, looks fine. Fish pie, fine. In the TV recommendations, they recommend Three Families, Queen and Her Cousins, Motherland, Inside Number 9. Yes. Good. I like Inside Number 9. Back on BBC 2 at 9:30. And in the TV reviews, Blinded, Those Who Kill, 4 stars from Christopher Stevens. Fargo gets 2 stars. How many yards of linen in each pair? Get Big Carl on the line. Industrial Pet. I will spend too much on clothes, and even I think those trousers are overpriced. Massively so. In the cartoons, Garfield's having a sleep on John's lap. In Chloe & Co., Chloe and her friend are drinking and talking about men. And in Fred Bassett, he's looking out of the window and saying, oh, it might rain later. Nothing ever happens in Fred Bassett. Yeah, I love it. Oh, get ready to say the catchphrase. Good news. Not just one new coin ad has dropped. A second new coin ad. This new coin helps save lives at sea. A magnificent new 24-carat gold coin issued in support of the RNLI. Available just for £39. Features the Queen in a lifeboat. It's a wonderful new design. A superb depiction of the Alderney Trent class all-weather lifeboat. This one called the Roy Barker 1. One of RNI's 400 lifeboats. And on the other side, the lifeboat of the royal family, Queen Liz herself. In the straight-to-the-point letters, Owen Williams writes, like Bill Gates, I'm splitting my fortune with a wife. She gets the houses, hotels, board and dice. Ted Shorter, real name, says, will man-hugging by annoying blokes be allowed again when restrictions are lifted? I hope not. V. Hefter, who frequently features in here, V. Hefter says, rejecting royalty, but perhaps not the royalties. Rosemary Webster says, I've redecorated my bedroom at a cost of £58 for wallpaper and paint. Tell Boris I'm taking commissions.
That looks like shit.
I bet it does. Lawrence Prince says, filling in a form, I was asked my country of birth. The computer said no to United Kingdom and England. Bizarrely, the answer it wanted was GBR. What the fuck? Who cares? Tony Harvey of Bangor County Down says,
I much prefer the music in TV adverts to the charts. That's it. That's the letter.
That's the letter.
That's
it. I got you over for that. Sorry about that. I'm looking here seeing if there's any others, but there aren't. That was the letters today. Yes, he needs extremely straight man in a letter there. I hope hugging men is made illegal. I need the law to prevent me from hugging blokes. Kenosis, I don't even like looking at men unless it's in a business context. Today's recipe is mini chorizo, pea and potato fritters. Why go mini? I've made myself cry laughing at your comments, so well done for that. They recommend some bad meals. They recommend cozy feet shoes for extra wide or swollen feet. There's all the various medical beds and baths and stuff and, you know, scooters. I love this as well. They always do this thing where they put, like, a very young woman on one of these scooters. So it's like, don't worry, even this young woman needs this scooter. Obviously, some young women might, but, like, the point here is that the average Daily Mail reader is slowly desiccating. Industrial Pet, to be honest, if we ban the Where's My Hug guy forever, that'd be good. Big Goblin, the album Energy, says Tara writes, crying is very unstraight. Yeah, I know. The facts are the facts. And in the sport, United beat Villa to extend Pep's wait for the crown. Put the bubbly back on ice, City. Crunch talks today over final switch to Wembley, with the UEFA officials maybe moving the Champions League final from Turkey. And McIlroy wins first title for 18 months. That was the Daily Mail. Give me your scores as I do the final roll call of the day and remind you that tomorrow is White Dwarf in the magazine review, as well as all the usual newspapers. So, in the chat, I'm the Broken Bottle Boy. In the mod squad today is SK the Crusader. Do go check out one of his latest streams on YouTube, and also make sure you're subscribed here if you're not. In the chat, another TT viewer, Arid Tracks, 8 and Bad Motivator, Broxlaw, Carbot14XYZ, Chris McRae, Commander Root, Dan Jones, 3142, Glycolic Moment, I Can't Control It, Industrial Pet, JDLB, Jordan DH, Chronother, Mark Kenosis, Mr. Gump, Red Tick Seed, Salinka Maya, Shankly, SRMX 30519, Storm Unity, Cider Streams, Tom, Teo Wrights, The Royal Flush, VNK, Virgo Pros, Yuan, and Zoe Brings Bacon. Thank you all for joining me on this Monday stream, as I am now doing more often. Let me just drop the link to the Discord. If you enjoy the show and you want to talk about terrifyingly awful newspaper articles and all that kind of thing, come and join us on the Discord, where those chats continue after the show and when the show isn't on. I will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you can do me any favour today, there is a couple. One is, if you've got some spare coins and want to throw them in the newspaper fund, that would be very useful and helpful. If you do and you've got a particular magazine that you want to see in one of the magazine specials, I'm planning on doing at least 2 this week, then chuck some money in there and put in your comment what magazine you want it to be. The other thing is, if you haven't read the newsletter or you're not a subscriber to the newsletter, consider subscribing to the newsletter. You can do so for free here, brokenbottleboy.substack.com, and if you like it, upgrade to the paid version that gets you some extra stuff. Scores for the Daily Mail, it's a minus. It's a double negative nice from Slinkermeyer. It's 5 fishes from Yuan. It's overpriced trousers out of 10. Minus overpriced trousers out of 10 from Industrial Pet. And minus 1 unsinkable coin from Mark Kenosis. Thank you all. And Tara Wright says minus 1 very, very straight man sweating at the concept of being hugged by men today. Yeah, thank you, Industrial Pet. Yeah, it is a rough read, today's newsletter, but it's worth reading, and if you can share it on Twitter, do. It is about the Sun ignoring the fact that their ex-chief reporter that they just paid massive tributes to killed his wife in 1977, got off on manslaughter with the help of QCs paid for by the Sun, and was welcomed back into the Sun newsroom. But there's more to it than that, and the newsletter covers it. Anyway, on a good note, thank you today for your comments in the chat and your just being there generally. It was you're always super funny, and I love doing the show. And I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. for the next episode. Cue the Dr. Dre. Can't do that. We'll get a copyright strike. Anyway, goodbye all.